into it, man. Like I know a lot of people was telling me about it and talking about it, man, but I never got into Power, man.
Yeah, Power's a good show. And then on it, 50 played a character named Kanan. And then they made a show based off of that. But Raising Kanan is a good show. Like even standalone, it's a good show. It's like based out of the 90s. So like the wardrobe, everything, style, everything like that is like based out of the 90s. It's a good show though. I like it.
Nice, man. That's good
What's up
stuff.
though, man? What you been up to?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like these ships coming up, man. Like these no notice ships coming up now, man. They're killing me,
Yeah.
man. Like
It
my
sound like
schedule.
it sound like work. It sound like you've been up to work.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the schedule is getting crazy, man. Like, but I'm getting a little frustrated a little bit though, man. But it's all good now. I just the schedule ships is coming up. Pop up out of nowhere, and we got to go out there and look at them, man. Like I like that beautiful schedule we got, but when you you can't plan that, if the schedule ain't right. So, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's
y'all had the whole COVID period of time that y'all probably was a little spoiled,
yeah, most definitely. Especially
right?
me, 'cause I had just got there too. So yeah, pretty much.
And so now it's back to work, man. Back
Yeah,
to the
man.
grind.
Back to the grind. Back to getting it.
I
No
mean,
doubt, man.
I guess they thinking about. Are they thinking about raising up like some of the COVID restrictions again, or nah?
No, I mean, ain't nothing really changed, or they talk about anything change. I'm just don't. I'm just waiting on Japan to change. Tell you the truth, man. Japan is what's killing us. We still got to do that ROM period over there. But everything
Yeah.
else is it's good now. We can go to Hawaii. We do all that, but Japan, man, that's the one.
I saw that their liberty they back on normal liberty. Somebody
Yeah,
posted that they back on normal liberty.
yeah, I saw that too. So that's at least they going in the right direction, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and then I'm assuming that when everybody get the vaccine, that everything gonna open back up.
Yeah, most
Y'all had
definitely.
anybody that don't want to get it?
Yeah, but I think they kind of. I don't know the whole situation, but I think they kind of folded. I heard that everybody's going along with the plan, so that's all I kind of heard about it. But it was like three or four people that didn't take it and wasn't planning on taking it. But I think they are though.
Yeah. Did you hear about the drone strike that happened?
Mm-mm.
So a drone strike happened last night in Afghanistan, right?
Mm-mm.
Kabul. Um, um, yeah, like it's breaking news. So it just happened. I
Oh
was looking at
man.
it last night. Like as of last night, I was watching some a drone strike happened, and I guess we were targeting extremists, and we didn't hit any extremists at all. We hit a bunch of civilians, like seven of them. I
Yeah.
think 10
10.
civilians
Yeah.
altogether, and seven of them were children.
Oh no.
Yeah. So one of the things that I see that they doing is they owning up to like it being a mistake early, like real early. The Pentagon and whoever speaking, they owning up to it being a mistake super early. I guess that's learning from some past issues and shit like that to make sure that we getting early on being like, yeah, we messed up.
Yeah.
It was a huge mistake. So yeah, man,
Yeah.
that just happened. But I mean, just coming off, what we talked about last episode about Stuart Scheller and them not kind of rogering up or speaking out, just to see them get on it super early, make sure that everybody know like that we own this mistake
Yeah.
or whatever.
I
I
most
mean,
definitely, I most definitely think that's probably playing a part in it too, though, man. Like, actually, when you actually start getting called out on stuff, man, and
yeah,
somebody who actually close to it too, you know,
yeah,
calling you out. So
yeah, and that's a good thing about jumping out the window. Like, you could do it and you might get flack for it. You might get like criticized for it. People say you wrong and everything, but then you like the tide turns.
yeah,
You start to see different things. You start to get the results you wanted. But I mean, it's always up to that first person to make the sacrifice. So I mean, it looked like already, what he did is starting to pay dividends. Like already, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Now, and as far as us making that mistake, I don't know, man. Like it's a few like public errors that we've been making recently on the high side, and we might just have to slow down and think it out. I know they said it was a thought out, maneuver. It was a thought out exercise. Everything was planned perfectly. And then, at the end of the day, it was a mistake. So,
yeah,
it's time to slow down and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing the right way and that we focused on what we're supposed to be focused on. It's a lot going on in the media right now, man, between COVID, what people having to get mandatory vaccinations to like this whole thing about access to bank accounts I was looking at. You saw that? Yeah, something about getting that anybody with over $600. I don't know if my wife said it was small businesses. It ain't nothing that I was really looking into too much, but I saw something about wanting access into people money, like your funds and stuff like that. I'm like, man, we getting crazy
now.
Out here.
Yeah, man. If you want to give me crazy access, I'm okay with that, but you ain't getting no access to me.
Yeah, right.
That's
you got
crazy.
Access to me. I need access to you. It was like anybody with over 600. They was like, that's damn near everybody. Anybody with over 600.
Yeah.
You gotta have over 600 in your account, man. Did you do your PFA yet?
Nah, man. We supposed to be doing it like, I think they said the week before Thanksgiving or something.
Oh, y'all got a while.
Yeah. I'm not even, dude, I'm doing the bike, man. So, and I already look when that first thing came out, man. I did that little plank thing, man. That thing didn't even, man, I didn't even break a sweat doing 3 minutes, man.
Yeah.
So I'm not even worried about the PFA. Actually, for me, man, it got easier. I ain't gonna lie, man. Cause I always been able to do a lot of push-ups, so I ain't tripping on that. Then the plank part of it just made it even easier for me, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
How many push-ups you done, man?
Man, I'm probably gonna do. I don't have to. I'm not the CFL no more, so I don't have to do a whole lot. So I'm probably gonna knock out probably like 70 and just keep it moving. But I always been able to do push-ups though.
By the time I hit probably like 22, man, my arms start to hurt, man. And I was in any shape I've been in, man. Push-ups not really my thing. I've done, the whole 80, 90, 100.
Yeah.
But they hurt after a while.
Oh
for
yeah.
me.
Oh yeah.
Like and I can't do it. The curl up my thing. I've done like 120, 130.
Oh yeah,
that's easy. The plank a little different because you gotta, you gotta
hold
know
it.
what you're doing.
You gotta hold that
thing,
plank. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, your body start jerking, shaking, and all that.
Get that 45-second mark, boy. If you could, if you get that minute, you good, man. Like it's only like a minute 15 anyway, right? A minute 5 for me because I'm a little bit older, but
but three is like your max, huh?
Yeah, 3 your max. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like it, man. That them planks though, man. They get. I did a 3-minute plank on the plank because I was working my way up. I was started with like 30 seconds, then 45, but I would do like 20 sets. So it'd be like 20 sets of 30 seconds. Then I went up to 20 sets of 45. Then it went up to a minute. Then it went up to like 2 minutes. So it's like 40 minutes, of just all planking. I'm not there anymore though. I'm not like physically there anymore. I ain't doing my planks like that.
Yeah.
But ours is coming up soon. We weigh in 2 weeks, so ours is coming up soon.
Yeah.
But what else been up, man? Working and how the boats looking, man? How the ships looking?
Ship's looking pretty good, man. It just to me, I feel like, especially in my job, man, like DC is DC. Any ship you go on, we pretty much do kind of the same thing, but I think the reaching out is the problem, man. Like we go on a ship and they tell me like, "Hey, what you want to see?" And I'm like, "It ain't what I want to see, man. It's what you need to do during this cycle, what you need to do during this inspection. It ain't what I want to see." Like, you know what I mean? Like, because what I'm getting at, if you reach out to me, you already got stuff set up. If you asking me that question, that means you ain't setting nothing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Really.
Yeah,
right,
and that kills me, man. My whole day go to shit. Time you ask me that question, I'm like, oh, in my mind, I ain't saying it to them. In my mind, I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah. So what part of the inspection are you? You are what inspection are you exactly?
So, you remember when the Fitz and the McCain had the collision, right? So they started doing this ready for sea assessment, right? Mm-hmm. And it's in a Tycon Sea trial. So I'm right there starting out. We do that inspection, the ready for sea inspection. That's pretty much for the ship, checking their red lines and stuff, right? Making sure the ship ready to get, out the sea and all that type of stuff. And then I do ready twos. I do ready six. Ready six is really my main thing though. That's like
Mm-hmm.
a right before you do your in serve. So we do our thing. We do the same exact thing in serve do. Same grading, same everything. And then all of a sudden they hit the shit with that no notice in serve. But they don't do
Mm-hmm.
that till they see us first though.
Okay, and then y'all
So it's kind
talk
of,
to insert.
yeah, we kind of work for in serve type. You know, we do the same inspection they do. And then we actually had that's why I had to go to Virginia till we did like a little what they call it, a little meeting with all your counterparts and stuff, and went over to make sure we was all on the same page. They do that like once a year or whatever. We fly up to Virginia and do this big ass conference
Mm-hmm.
up there. So yeah, man, it's pretty cool,
Mm-hmm.
man. Pretty cool little gig, man. I don't think it got a lot of noise when it comes to like um, when it comes to billets and stuff, though. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
like RDC or like ATG and none of that stuff. But I feel like it's a good job though. It's like, going out of ships and making sure they're ready to go.
You know what I just came across that I think is pretty cool in the military?
What's that?
Skill bridge.
Oh, I ain't just came across that, man. I've been like, we got some. Hey, to tell you the truth, man, we got some guys out there in it right now, right? And they put me on it, man. Like all our pretty much every every chief that was in the mess on the Rafael Peralta, man, is old Skill Bridge right now, man.
Oh, for
Yeah,
real?
yeah, and we got this old page that we first came to the ship. A lot of us still on the same thing, on the
Yeah.
same little app, man. And they be talking about it on there, man.
Oh, I guess
Yeah,
like that's your way of telling me that I ain't. That's
you ain't.
probably I ain't
Yeah,
on that page.
it was the. You
The
know what, man? I might
OG
have to
page.
add you on there, man.
It's the OG page, yeah,
I might have to
man.
add you to it, man. But
I ain't did
it was
that,
for the
yeah.
first. It was like for the.
Plank owners, the plank owner
Yeah,
page. Yeah, I ain't
man.
on that one,
So
man.
yeah, man, all them guys doing it, man. Like I'm sorry, some of them got like 6 months, some of them doing 3 months. All
Yeah.
them guys, they doing good stuff. Some of them doing it with Amazon, some of them doing it with real estate.
Can you
Um,
break it down real quick, just in case it's like a junior seller that I got what because I looked at it. I ain't really looking into it. I think you still inactive and you go TAD for like 120 days
yeah,
and you go work for a company.
yeah, and so but it's certain companies on there too, though. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm most definitely not the expert on Skill Bridge because I haven't got to that level to be into it that deep yet. But I just know I heard guys talking about it. So like you said, it's 120 days. They got different programs that you can get into.
Yeah.
And when I say, man, when whoever that wants to go, look at it, it is a lot of programs out there for military, man, that you can go. And a lot of the jobs, once you go that 120 days or 90 days or whatever days it is, they hire you. A lot of them hire you like
Yeah.
on the spot after that, man. So that's what they doing it for, though. They doing it to hire people. So that's why a lot of those guys actually get those jobs too.
And you don't gotta be a chief. You could be like a second class
Yeah,
and just getting out, right?
yeah.
Stuff like
Most
that. As long
most
as you're
definitely not have
trained.
to be a chief. But that's the biggest thing I think, though. That hurts. That will probably hurt you when you are on sea duty, though. For a ship to let you go TAD. Even on shore duty, if you one of one or whatever, like even me, it's two DC men at my job right now, and we both go on ships and inspection. It's gonna be hard for me to go, to leave the command for, 6 months to go
Yeah.
to Skill Bridge. That'd be like crazy. But if I can get my relief there a little bit early or something, that'd be
Yeah.
different. But yeah, it'd be hard. But
I
I'm
bet.
most definitely gonna be looking into it though, trying to do it anyway.
Yeah, man. I've been looking at like a lot of the reactions from some of our posts and some of the stuff we put up on social media. I'm starting to realize, man, that like you have a market. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a market. Like them dudes that's like 45 and up. Like they take to you, man. You know what I'm saying?
To me,
Yeah, like the 45 that like, I probably like the younger people, they probably
oh man,
like the dudes that wear their glasses on their hat. Like that's like them dudes. I know them. They all over 45. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh
take,
man, that's
they
why they
taking
taking
you,
me.
man.
That's why they taking it me
Yeah,
because you going in on them with them glasses.
you got that 45 and up market, man.
Oh man,
I've been looking. I was trying to put my finger on it, man. I'm like, all right, this guy. I
I
knew
don't
this
think
guy
that's
all
it,
my
man.
life, but he
I don't
took the
think that's it,
Damon.
man.
I'm like, oh, I got it, man. The 45 and uppers, man.
Hey, so word, I want you guys to know I'm not 45 though. I just want you guys to know that because you said 45 and up, like I'm 45. I just want to make sure.
If you got to do a 40-second plank, you a Damon fan, man. Guys that only got to plank for about 40 seconds, man. 20-minute run.
Oh, I know, right, man? God,
if you do the 20-minute run, I've been getting a lot of flack from the older guys, man.
Hey,
From the
man.
geriatrics, man.
But I'm gonna tell you right there, man. I'm tell you right now. I remember when I was like 18, 19, man, I used to say the same thing, man, about them cats that was like 40. So I was like, man, it take you forever to do this and that.
Yeah.
Now I'm there, man. Now that's me.
It come around quick too,
boy,
man. This year, this been the fastest year. I'm 34, man. This been the fastest year of my life, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
These days go by like it's super quick. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, man. Them days, this whole year, man, has been crazy, man. It's already freaking October, man.
Yeah. I remember being 7 and from like birthday to birthday, it was like a lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like now it's like my birthday is in like 2 months or something like that. It's crazy, man.
For real. Freaking, what's the weather like up there in Philly?
Philly. So, okay, let's talk about Philly. So I went to Philly last weekend, right?
Yeah.
I went to Philly for my stepmom's funeral.
Yeah.
Beautiful event, man. Her friends planned it. They did a hell of a job. Really, really good job. Beautiful. I was able to film it, so I had to film it. Then after I filmed the funeral event, we went back, and they had some food and everything like that. And I filmed a bunch of people doing like confessional style speeches about her, and that was emotional for a lot of them. I didn't expect it to be so emotional for them, but I was in work mode the whole time. I did get in front of the chair and do my own confessional. It was, for some reason, I was a little jerky too. It almost became emotional for me, but I was trying my best to just get through it. I hated seeing my grandma, my stepmom's mom. She was just so sad, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She just didn't want to believe it. And I was happy to see her when she was happy. Like, you know, when they was singing the gospel music and stuff like that. She looked happy. But it just looked like she just did not want to, like, just accept it. You know, she was just with her. So that was a tough kind of thing. Then it was unexpected. It wasn't like she was, unexpected. It wasn't like she was sick or anything like that. So that's just something you just never even really mapped out. But, you know, may she rest in peace. We dedicated an episode to her already. But so I was in Philly for that. I was tired, man. But the weather was great. Real good. It was hot out.
Yeah.
We drove down there. I think we drove at like 12. Me and my wife just kept putting off the trip. I didn't want to go there physically. I didn't really want to go there emotionally. I know I had to pack all my equipment and then film and work. But we got up there about 2:45 in the morning. Went to sleep. We went to a hotel. Went to sleep. Woke up. You know, I went over to the funeral, to the church early so I could start filming and stuff like that. After that, we hung out with our family. Even after the repast, we hung out with our family that we don't get to see often. Her family, which is our family. We hung out with them for a while, and then I think we got home about like 2, and then we left in the morning. After we left in the morning, we took a trip, back home, but we made a stop. We made a stop at the national, like the flag, the Fort McHenry. We made a stop at Fort McHenry, where we got the whole Francis Scott Key story, and they played a movie. And after they played the movie, so we felt like patriots. You know what I'm saying? We was on our patriot vibe. But like, so we chilling. I kept telling my wife, I'm like, man, we patriots today, man. Like, we done our thing. We walked the whole Fort McHenry in Baltimore. They played a movie about the national anthem and how it came about and what it means. And then after that, the movie screen lifted up and you saw Glory, the flag was out there, man. Everybody was saluting. I had to take my hat off and salute. You know what I'm saying? So then we ready to go. And it's getting, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I think 2 days ago was the annual anniversary of when the national anthem was written. Well, whoever listened to this is like September 16th or something like that. So that was like the national, that's like the anniversary. And I didn't know that. I also didn't know, I'm not like a history buff. So going there, we learned that Francis Scott Key was actually on the enemy boats when they were coming into Fort McHenry. He was on the enemy boats because he was negotiating like freeing different prisoners. So he was actually, he ate dinner and everything with the British. And he was over there with them. So that was pretty cool too. Yeah. So we had a good time. It was
good shit, man.
A real good thing.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was just thinking about how it's October already, man, and freaking, man, normally October, man, it's cold, man.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's still like almost 100 degrees out here in Cali, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they say we global warming. They say like we global warming, man.
Yeah, man. That's real. That's a real thing. I know it was a long time, man. People was like trying to act like that's not a real thing, man. That's a real thing.
I keep trying to tell you, man. The Space Force and all of this space travel, this stuff ain't for nothing.
I don't know about all that, man, but yeah.
The Space Force is a real branch of the military.
Yeah.
They looking for officers, right? I mean, we watch movies. We've seen Star Trek. We've seen this shit. Like it's, I mean, people might think it's crazy. I sound weird, but I mean, it's gonna be intergalactic soon. Like we will be. Like it's.
Well, man, they say they came out and finally said it's UFOs out there, man. They came out and said, man, it's some life out there, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't debate that. I wouldn't argue that, man.
I mean,
permission
we ready
to speak freely goes,
man.
Sci-fi. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about them aliens, man. But I mean, like you said, man, it's UFOs. I wouldn't debate that. I believe it's like I don't believe that this is the only place in the whole galaxy that life exists. That's just totally weird to me. That part. We're not going to space for nothing, right? So I don't think the Earth will last forever. I mean, I think we'll be way out of our lifetime before it's over. But I mean, we are global warming. It's getting hot as hell out here.
Yeah. No doubt.
It's super high. It's September, man. Still, I got short weather. We still good. So
yeah, no doubt, man.
I mean, I guess a good thing is football season is back, right? It's a good thing for you.
Well, it won't be a good thing for you tomorrow, though, right? Because the 49ers playing Philly, So I'm pretty sure that it may not be a good day for you tomorrow, man. You know what I mean? But
we gonna see. We gonna see.
But I do tell you,
a special episode.
Yeah, man. But I do tell you, I will say that that Philly looked pretty good in week 1, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched him or anything like that, but that quarterback dude looked like he's a
Hurts.
Yeah, he looked like he's a player in the game, though.
Yeah, but I guess that's like your way of making us seem a formidable opponent, just in case y'all win, and then if y'all lose, you could say we look good too. So you just don't have a moral loss or whatever.
I mean, I don't expect that happening at all, but I just want you to know that you got a little future there, man. You ain't ready.
Y'all winning the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. We gonna take that thing this year, man. You know what I'm saying?
How many losses y'all got to get straight for you to realize that ain't gonna happen? How many losses you?
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. Like people down on me, man. I always like when I bring this up, man, because of last year, man. But I don't think everybody know that the 49ers was in the Super Bowl in 2018. And sometimes people forget that was a year, it wasn't that long ago. And then last year we had a lot of injuries.
You said y'all was in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, 2018. I didn't say we won it.
Yeah.
We was in it though. We was in it though. But and we was winning in the fourth quarter. So man, we had a shot. But
winning in the fourth quarter, man.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough.
How many teams could say that? You know what I'm saying? How many teams got that? Winning in the fourth.
Went in the fourth, man. That's how close we was, man. That's how close we was.
I guess Tom Brady's still Tom Brady, huh?
Yeah, Tom Brady still Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady was talking about playing. He 50 years old, man.
Yeah,
Tom
they
crazy, man.
said Dallas felt real good in that game, man. I heard Dallas looked and felt real good in that game till they let Brady be Brady, man.
Yeah, man.
I
knew
ain't see
that.
it. I heard about it.
Yeah, man. I knew they was gonna lose once they left like a minute or 2 minutes on the clock and gave the ball to Brady, man. You know that game was over, man. I know everybody
Yeah.
on the Dallas sideline knew that game was over, man.
It's like the moments that
Yeah,
Brady just
man.
waiting for. It's
Yeah,
easy.
that was him, Peyton Manning, all them guys, man. They feed off that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the game, minute left, they going down and get that field goal or that touchdown. It's happening. I'm sorry, it's gonna happen. Easy.
Hey, you know what just happened to me, man? I just found out I'm about to be the DLCPO.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I say it happened to me like it's like a bad thing. It's not. I'm happy. Like I appreciate it. I'm overjoyed. I get sellers. I get to have sellers again. You know what I'm saying? I get to talk to sellers and do some stuff again. So we transition in between the DCPO that's there and then transitioning over to me. And he been setting the pick, doing what he's supposed to do and all of that. So I appreciate it. I realized, as he shedding, his responsibility, and I'm starting to pick up more, it's people hitting me up, for questions about the sellers and stuff like that. And I hadn't had my formal, because my job scope was outside of, really having to have a formal introduction about who I am and how I operate with, with the sellers. But since I'm hitting them up now, asking them stuff like, all right, let me stop real quick. Let me take the time to go talk to all the sellers and tell them who I am, how I do things and all of that, which was super rewarding. Being able to sit down with them, talk, laugh, tell them my expectations, how I operate. A lot of lessons learned from the first time I did that. I did that when I went to my division on a ship. A lot of lessons learned from that. I did it more one-on-one based this time, and I still got a couple of them I need to get around to. But it's definitely a chapter that I'm looking forward to here. Is doing DLCPO. I was telling one of the sellers that every command I've ever went to, I always started out good. I always started really good, and then something happened really bad. So I would always go up. I would come and they'd be like, yo, this dude look good. He look sharp. Look like he good to go. He got shit going on. But then something would happen, and it just took me down a little bit. Whether it be my reputation, my confidence, or whatever, but it took me down. And then I had to that was over at on a ship. You know what I'm saying? But before that, it was when I was at the academy, something happened there. In the same vein, I mean, it was a gun decking thing, and it took me down. It was my division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it took my rep. It took everything down, the division, everything. So we had to fight up out of that. So every time I come, look great, go down hard, right? And then have to come all the way back up. Every time. It's been the last two, my first command, no. But the last two, yes. Now I'm here. And I'm like, man, I'm just waiting for whatever's going to take me down. You know what I'm saying? So then I got to come back up. But I try my best for that not to happen. I try to catch things before they, become a problem and whatever. But I think it's humbling. And I think, for those periods of times, I needed those things. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always coming steamroll, doing what I'm supposed to do, getting a lot done. And then boom, it just hits you. Man, you're not perfect, dude. You're not that guy like that. You know what I'm saying? So bang. And I might have talked about this before, but I'm happy to be taking over DLCPO. More sellers to deal with, problems that we need to go through, get with. As soon as first week problems, you know what I'm saying? Things we need to work out. Yeah. I closed out the week with a new problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all good though.
That's what we do though. That's what we do, man. Even it don't stop, man. I got Chiefs and I got one first class and all the rest of them Chiefs, man. But we still, things happen, man. You still got to take care of things, and I was kind of surprised on some of the stuff that I got going on, with with certain individuals, man, that you would think that was could take care of a lot of stuff, man. But you still in there, man. Like
Yeah, you see,
still,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's the surprising thing, man. When it's
yeah,
the people that you think could take care of stuff. And
yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta lead, man.
yeah,
Everybody want to
man.
be led at some point. Like everybody go get away what they could get away with. They just want to be led.
Yeah,
So that's, I
man.
mean, we got that. We got the advancement exams coming. Happening, right?
Yeah, happening. Yeah, yeah.
Happening. So
Yeah.
every September, every March, advancement exams. If you're
I
taking
do
it,
miss that. I miss that stuff, man, because I don't have no sailors that's taking, you know what I'm saying, the exam. So I kind of miss that side of it. You know what I mean? Of
yeah,
being out there with them and telling them on the deck, plays, you ready, you got this, and pumping them up, getting them motivated, telling them, are you studying? And I miss saying all that stuff to sailors all the time. You know what I mean? Like, especially my sailors, when I used to have DC men, I used to like always have questions, especially when the exams started getting closer. And I started freaking asking them questions like, hey, what's this? What's that? It's going to be on your exam probably, and all type of stuff, man. I remember um, be able to ask sailors that stuff, man. And not on the ship, don't have young sailors no more, man. So that's some stuff that I be missing, though, right there.
yeah. And if you taking it, good luck. If you taking it, good luck.
Most definitely.
If you already took it, good luck.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we see your name on that list.
Yeah, we also, you got the chief results about to come out soon too, man. I saw those quotas came out, man.
Yeah.
The quotas was pretty freaking good, man, across the board, man.
Yeah.
This year, so good luck to all those guys too, man.
Yeah.
yeah,
Good luck. Good luck.
man. It's a big deal because once those quotas come out, those results right behind it, man. So
Yeah. Yeah. October 4th, right? October 4th.
speaking
like somewhere around that time.
speaking of all those guys, man, that's going to be going through the transitions, man. You got a good story about when you was going through for your first time, man. Like a good feel good story, man. You got
Yeah, I do. I got one. I got one more thing that happened.
okay, go ahead.
While we were gone, since we last talked, I went to Camp David. And a lot of times I go to bases, and a lot of people go to bases. They want to get memorabilia. People go to Hawaii. They want to go places. People want to go see the Arizona. People want to go see stuff. They want to, go to different bases and see things historical and stuff like that. So a lot of times I just go to the base and I work and I operate. I don't go on tours and stuff like that. It's part of the job, right? But I went to Camp David, and as a part of my job, actually. Like I went to Camp David to go do an assessment on a program, and I'm like, at first I get lost on my way up there. I go to this other camp, Misty Mountain. I don't know what could happen at Misty Mountain. You know what I'm saying? So I get up out of Misty Mountain as quick as I can, right? I find a closest park ranger I could find. And like, hey, I'm trying to get to Camp David, and I'm like, man, they might think it's not legit because it's hard to get in Camp David. It's like a whole bunch of security things. So I'm like, man, they might be trying to, I don't know what's going to happen. So they wound up telling me how it's like, yeah, it's closed down because they doing some mowing. So you're going to have to go all the way around. Get all the way around. I go to Camp David. Man, and I'm doing the assessment. And first I'm like, man, I'm on Camp David. It's a lot of history here, man. This is where the presidents hang out. So, it takes a while to get in there. It's really secure, man. like super secure. So I get in there and, I start doing my assessments. I get to introduce, like, I'm gonna take you on a tour when we finish the assessment. Do you want to do a tour? Well, I'm like, hell yeah, I want to do a tour, man. I saw coins and memorabilia. I'm buying all this. Like, this is it for me, right? So a lot of things I can't talk about, like telling these different stories and stuff. But so we did the tour, so we got to see like where the president stays when the president's on camp, where they play golf at, the different places that guests would stay. I actually went into a cabin, didn't go into the president's cabin, but I went into a cabin and I learned a lot of the history of Camp David. And it's so easy to remember, from FDR to Eisenhower, it's so easy to remember like all of the history. But it was cool, man. Like I never been that excited coming from a base ever,
Yeah.
so that was like a rewarding visit. One of the most rewarding, refreshing things for me at Camp David where I work at right now, we don't have a mess like where we eat. You know, we got places we meet, we got places we talk and have meetings, but we don't eat lunch together. So, you know, after I did it, you know, before the tour, after I did the assessment, well, after I debriefed CMC, before we did that, we went to eat lunch. So they took me, you know, through the mess line, and the guy that took me through, he paid for my senior chief. He paid for my food, which was cool. They had quesadillas and shrimp. You know, the Navy always got some shit that don't go together at all.
Yeah.
Chicken quesadillas and shrimp. But it's like, you going to eat it. Like, yo, these shrimp don't really go with these quesadillas, but I'm going to get all this. Like,
Yeah.
So I got it all. They had steak too, so it was like a surf and turf. And it's funny because we had just did the podcast, the one about surf and turf. I'm like, oh, you got the surf and turf. But I was like, what bad news y'all about to get? But you know, so we go there. I learned some interesting things about both President Trump and President Biden, and like the way they spend their time at Camp David. Mm-hmm. Of course, Trump ain't go there that much. You know what I'm saying? So I did learn that. But we get I get in the mess, and it's just Chiefs, man, just eating, talking shit, joking, having fun. And it just reminded me of the value of being in the mess. You know what I'm saying? Even if I was quiet there, if I was talking, if I was laughing, if I was joking, it's still a place that I was at that was like cool, fun, a bunch of people just kind of shooting and shit. Like, as close to fun and a break from the norm that you could get before you go back out and you do what you got to do. I remember I was just talking about some of the low points, and I remember being at like a low point and not even wanting, and brand new Chiefs, so not even wanting to go to the mess because I'm like, man, I'm at to hear about this. But then like using that mess as like a form of medicine, like, all right, let me go, a form of recovery and therapy, man. Let me just go in there and deal with this. As soon as I went in there, I think I had a laugh or two, and like I felt a little bit better. Yeah. And then I realized that, man, these are people that got me, man. These are people that's going to be here to support me emotionally. And I miss having that, you know, where I'm at. I'm on shore duty. It's cool. But I just miss having a mess to go back to and hang out, talk, laugh. You know, the capacity of talking to the Master Chief, you know, is we do meetings, and you could catch CMC at lunch and stuff like that. But it's just not like a just standby spot that you just go to. You could catch somebody at, chilling, talk, laugh, joke, and stuff like that. This stuff got to be planned or put together. So definitely Camp David, the mess, all of that stuff, greatness.
Yeah, man, that Camp David, that Camp Davis things, man, you gotta like have that's special orders to get there, man. So you know that's a big deal, man. Anybody can't go and be assigned to Camp David, man.
Yeah, man. I left with 2 shot glasses, a ball cap. I got some stuff, man. I couldn't leave Camp David with nothing. They gave me the commemorative September 11th coin, which I think we'll talk about in a little bit. But
you get your boy anything from Camp David, man?
Who?
So you ain't get me nothing from Camp David?
Oh, you? Nah, actually, nah, man. I gave you this story. It's memory, man. You know
what you got is see how you do me, man. I want you guys to hear how you do me, man. That's how you do.
I gave you this Camp David memory, man. The beauty in all this is I could go back. You know?
Yeah.
So, if they got something $50, throw me $100. You know what I'm saying? And I get you the $50 thing, the other $50.
You know they got travel. See when you're there, man. One good thing about being there, you're in the moment, man. They got this thing they call Venmo or Cash App, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit you right there, man. You know what I'm saying?
You Cash App, but you can't have your phone on that base.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I couldn't even have my phone.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only reason I ain't hit you.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. If I had the phone, I'd have been like, damn, who should I call? First person come to mind. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's go. All right, so the season, right? My season. Let's talk about the season. I went through the season with three other people. I was TAD to the command LCS. LCS is, they don't really get underway like that, but I want TAD to go on the deployment. So right before we found out about the deployment, the answers, the results came out, and my name got called. And then, so I'm there, my name got called. We wondering what's going to happen with the deployment. I think like a week after, the season started, the deployment got canceled. But it's an LCS. I mean, that's what you expect. It might have been like 2-3 weeks. And then they asked me, they was like, man, you already started your season here. Like, why would you go back? Because I was working at Squadron. So they was like, why would you, I mean, do you want to go back or you just want to stay with us? And I did the leadership training with Squadron. So I already knew the guys at Squadron too. So I just said, no, I'll stay with y'all. I started with the master, you know, you start learning people names and everything you do when you go through the season. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just stay with this mess. So I went through as a TAD seller with a certain chief's mess that I love and respect. It was 3 of us. It was me. We had a woman with us, a GM, we had a GSM, and we had an EN. Our GSM, he had like 7 years in, like 6-7 years. And then the rest of us were, I think, close in the time we had in, like around 10 years or something like that. We were a mixed bunch. You know what I'm saying? We were a mixed bunch. We had fun. We did a lot of work. One of us had a lot of responsibility at home and couldn't, some of the stuff they couldn't do. In hindsight, I understand it. I think when it was happening, it was frustrating for us because a lot of the other things that was going on was frustrating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The last day of I can't see certain, I don't want to get into certain stuff, but the final night, I thought we wasn't going to get selected because we did something again. We did something I don't think we should have done. And I'm like, man, we ain't, it's like, I got a video I got to show you. It's probably the most humiliating video of me that anybody ever has. And my boy Derek got it. My boy Derek, he was an ENC at the time. He's an officer now. But every time he sent it to me, like, I hate seeing that version of myself like that. That was me. Like, wow, I look so scared and nervous. And it was because, they had us outside the tent, man. And I heard what they were saying. And I was like, yo, it's going to be bad for us. Like, we should have never done what we did. When you select, like, you do certain stuff. I'm like, well, we should have never done that, man. And then the first person they call in is me. And they like, hey, what's up with this? Well, you did this. I'm like, man. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, why lie? Like, yeah, we did it. Like, whose idea was it? It was ours. We did it. We saw other people doing it. We thought it was the thing to do. They like, oh, so yo just going, rip stuff up in front of us, threw it on the ground. It was crazy. Joe Hanley was the command senior. He's a master chief now. He was the command senior chief at the time. And his voice, his diction, and the way he said things, I'm never going to forget. Some of that stuff, man. I give you one story. Because I can't. It's like there's certain things you can't really talk about. Yeah. But we used to do like food, right? We used to make food, right? So at lunch, it was shore duty, so we did training in the building, and we always had to do something different. Like we couldn't do PowerPoint, so we had to do skits. We had to do like some creative training. But we used to do like food, right? So we would get like different like sub sandwiches, or we would make food and do fundraisers and stuff like that. This is back when we had to do fundraisers and like the money was just the number one priority. Like all of us need to raise $4,000 a piece or whatever like that for us to have a khaki ball. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it used to be like. And I think that's a good thing that they took the money part out. Like, man, it's not just about the money. But we used to do food. So this dude, he got his wife to make like stuffed shells, right? And my wife made stuffed shells too. They're pretty good. So we talking, he's like, yo, my wife gonna make stuffed shells. So she made stuffed shells with the meat option. She made stuffed shells with the veggie. She had two big ass pans of like aluminum pans of stuffed shells. And so at lunch, we got everything set up. We going, you're going through the season. You got your vessels, everything set up out the table, or everything you got, your PQS, everything you have when you go through the season, right? It's all laid out outside. Anything that's due, anything is on the table. So the chiefs, you do all your stuff. And all the chiefs, they walk in and they sit down. And I don't know what we did. Like, we probably messed up something in the beginning because you need to do certain stuff in the beginning, whatever they want you to do, like memorization. So we probably messed up something. And they left, man. They was like, yo, fuck. They was like, yo, y'all suck. They was like, yo, y'all suck. Y'all garbage. Like, this is like, y'all been doing this for too long to be this trash. Like, we getting up out of here, right? But when they left, they left my man stuffed shells that his wife made, like, at the table. Dog.
They ain't
like,
eat them stuffed
they
shells.
ain't touch it. Like, they ain't open the container, man. You know, and they normally ate the food. They rolled out. My man was hot for real. Like the season, like he's like, yo, fuck this season shit. Like the season, none of that mattered, bro. Like he was like, yo, they ain't gonna do that. And at the time, you know, he was like, I don't even know if we ever told them this, like the story, but he's like, yo, they ain't gonna do that to my wife, man. Like. He's like, you know, they could do whatever they do to us, but they ain't gonna do that to my wife. You know, and I'm like, yo, that's why I don't cook, man. Like, that's why I don't cook. I don't ask my wife to cook. Because this type of situation is a violation, man.
Dude, that's
I'm like, yo, what you gonna do with those stuffed shells? Look good too. Like, well, what you gonna do with those stuffed shells? Because I can eat a couple of them. So we wound up eating stuffed shells and going over what we had to go over. That was one of them. Another one was this the lad, same guy, my guy, man. He was a GSM with like 7. He just made senior chief too. But the first day of PT, the first day, you know, we planned and everything. We've been messing up, so now it's like, all right, we could finally kind of impress these, you know, chiefs. So the first day of PT, my man was late. You know what I'm saying? Like just the first day, right? You know, and I don't know who was the lead. I might have been the lead select, you know, at the time. But so they like, yo, where you at? I'm like, I don't know. You know, now I'm early. I'm like, was super early. I'm always the guy that's wanting to be early. So I was early, and he wasn't there yet. And it's like, you know, Dad's like, well, it's time for y'all to start. And they had this thing where we not supposed to start without each other. So we just looking dumb. Like, we can't do nothing without him. So I'm like, where is he? They's like, yo, did you call him? I'm like, yeah, I called him. I called him like 3 times. He never answered. I called his wife. You know, I think I do everything because, you know, they want to know if you're a chief, like, if this was one of your sellers. That's the first thing you hear. Like, well, if this was one of your sellers, then, you know, what would you do? You know, so they pretty much was like, you going to have to get in the car and go to his house. I'm like, damn, you know, so then it's like I had to tell all the other select when we go to his house. Man, that was like a reprieve for me, right? I never told them that, but that was like a little reprieve. I'm like, man, I'm about to take 40 minutes to get to this crib. Like PT gonna be over by the time, you know, I get to his house, man. Yo, so, you know, I get in my car. I drive out of the parking lot. And who calls me? This fool, man. Yo, I was running late, man. Here I come. I'm like, come on, dude. Why'd you answer the phone now, dog? Like I was about to milk this situation, man. But that was the, like, I mean, it's a lot of other ones. Like the final test was great. Final night was great. I loved it. Getting in the mix with a whole bunch of other messes of selects, actually, a whole bunch of other Chiefs messes, going around getting charges. All of that stuff was like real good stuff without talking about too much. Now, I was listening to the Don't Give Up the Ship podcast. He did like a collab with this other podcast. And I was listening to it, and he was talking about that. He talks about the season a little bit more vividly because he don't think all that shit should be like secretive. And I mean, I kind of like some of what he was saying makes sense. And he was talking about the purpose of it and going through. I think he was going through a season and he kind of documented it either daily or weekly. And I think that's pretty cool. Some of the like privateness and the sanctity I'm gonna try my best to keep intact with certain stuff. But it was fun. It was good. 4 alpha people, like 4 people that would normally be alphas, who all had to come together. A lot of people butting heads. A lot of our one woman was also the one GM. So she was the one non-engineer, right? So it was all male engineers, and then we had a non-engineer. So every fight, and this is my sister, I love her to death, Chrissy. But like, and she'll probably listen to this and laugh. But every fight used to be, well, y'all just acting like this because I'm not an engineer. And so we be going back and forth. I'm like, man, like Chrissy be like, man, I'm quitting. You know what I'm saying? I'm quitting. I'll be like, well, quit. You know what I'm saying? The Matthews, Deontay, GSF, he'd be like, nah, man, we can't, boom. And so then, because me and Chrissy were both probably alphas. Then we had Luis, who was an alpha, but he just was one of them. He was one of them like Hispanic dudes. So a lot of them dudes, they got he had like a calm temperament. But when he not playing, he not playing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how he was. I remember they wanted him to do something that he thought was humiliating. He's like, I ain't doing that. He's like, I ain't doing that. He's like, I don't care how the season go out. I ain't doing that. Like, this just not happening. Me, I'm doing it. Like, I was like doing it. So I was like, man, this don't matter. Like, I'm just do it, man. I'm getting this charge, man. He's like, I ain't doing that for no charge. Nah. Like, that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? But so the season was, fun, man. It was real fun. A lot of things to look back on. It's just the biggest thing I hate is that the way I looked in that video and how bad I look coming in that room, man. And like none of those people are scary people. I don't know why I look like I thought I was about to get my head chopped off or something like that. Like it was just an easy, thing. And one of my boys kind of gave me some motivation before. Hey, don't worry about it, man. You're gonna be straight, boom. And I went in off his motivation, and he kind of gave me a little bit. And it ain't work. You know what I'm saying? Like the motivation, the guidance he gave me, it ain't work. And I ain't had no other card to play after that. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a while to get accepted. But it was a good night altogether. I loved it.
Yeah, man. I got my story is, I was motivated when I was going through, man. I was motivated for different reasons, though, when it came to the whole season, because I was put on hold. You know what I'm saying? So my thing was like, maybe me being motivated, maybe me being hardcore, maybe somebody could make some phone calls or whatever to say this guy deserves to be in the mess. I don't know how it works. I don't know what's going on because, I was just thinking. I don't know, because when I was put on hold, man, because I went to Captain Mass a couple years prior to that, so I knew that I wasn't going to make it, right? So I didn't turn in no package. I didn't do nothing, none of that stuff, right? Because I didn't think I was going to make it, right? So it ended up, I remember my chief kept telling me to this day, and I don't know if he knew, I don't even know if he knew or not, man, but he kept telling me, he said, check your profile, check BOL, check BOL. I said, man, I don't need to check BOL. They called the names over the 1MC already. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Why I got to check BOL? And at that time, I ain't know anything about being on hold or any of that stuff. I said, they already called the names over the 1MC. And he said, check it. He kept telling me to check it. So I think he knew something, man. Like he knew something that I didn't know or something. So I finally went in and checked it, and it said, it was an H there. And I said, what does that mean, man? What the H mean? He said, you put on hold. I mean, like you made it, though. But at the time, you really did make it. But that's what he was telling me. You made it. So by that time, I got called to 1MC. I had to go talk to the captain. So the captain read the message. There was a message about it, too. Captain read it to me, and I had to write I think it's like five, I don't know if he said 5 pages or 5 paragraphs about what happened to me going to Captain Mass, right? So let me tell you something else, though, man, about, like, the chief mess that people don't know, man. Like, so that story that I told the master is a HT. He a CMC now, but he's a HT Master Chief. So I told him my story, like what happened. He called me down there, me, him, and my chief, right? Called him down there, and he called me, and they said, what happened, so we can try to get this stuff put together. Because I wasn't even with the team yet, you know what I'm saying? So I put this whole thing together. I told that dude the story, and he like, all right, he typed up the whole thing, dude. I didn't do anything with those pages or that paragraph or nothing, man. He did it all. He just tell me the story. It was even before he even like typed it. He listened to me first, and then said, all right, I got it. Right? And he freaking did it all, man. I ain't do none of it. He did all that stuff for me, man. Which is cool, like how people really like know shit, care about your career and what you doing, man. That was crazy to me, for one. And then it was like 3 days went by, and I still wasn't with the team, and then because I was put on hold, and then the Master Chief, I guess they got together and said, F it, man, like he's gonna go through it, and if he don't pick up, we just, take him out or whatever. So
Yeah.
so I went there, man. Like this, they called me, like the team called me, man. It was like 10 or 11 that clock, man. Me and my wife just sit in the house, and they said, "Hey, man, they just told me to call you, man. You part of the team now. You need to come over." And it was like at 11 o'clock at night.
Damn,
Guess what?
like,
Hey, dude,
he's over
jump
there.
right out, excited. Went over to the house, man. Guess how many it was, man? That made it, man.
How
It's
many?
like 50 something, dude. 54.
Damn.
So I was gonna carry it though. So it was a lot of us, and and then when the air deck come, it was probably even more than that. You know what I'm saying? When they come on board the ship. So, but we had nukes involved, man. We had a lot of different people, man. When the whole team was together, it was a lot of us, man. And not only a lot of us, man. The mess had like 120 some chiefs in it, man. So you think about, man, going down there in the mess with 120 some chiefs. Man, it was like nightmare sometimes, man, going up in there. In the beginning, anyway. In the beginning, man, it was like a nightmare going there. But after a while, man, like I really, everything we did, and I felt like I was, motivated all the time. And then I remember some of the stories I hear the Chiefs used to tell me all the time, tell everybody all the time. Why is he putting in all this work and he don't even know if he gonna be a chief? And you got you guys over here. They used to always say stuff like that, man.
No, you was the guy. You was the example guy.
I was always, I was always motivated, man. But I remember firmly where we messed up some stuff up, man. I remember doing, I was very like into working out, man, at that time, man. And I was in shape, like in real good shape. And these dudes I did so many up downs, man, that I couldn't even get up off the floor no more, man. Because because I felt like they did all these up downs to me, man, because I was trying for them not to break me on these workouts, man. You know what I mean? But what we did was we did a little skit, man. It was a Mari skit, right? And it ain't had nothing to do with nothing. We just did it. We just did it, man. And they got us, man. They was like, what's that got to do with being a chief, man? And dude, they moved everything out the way, man, and they gave it to us, man. Like, dude, I'm telling you, man, I did so many up downs, man. But they was doing them too, but they was switching out on us, man.
Yeah.
They was giving it to me, man. They was getting us, man. But I had fun though, man. I had a good season though, man. We had some same way though. Why it goes, man. You got people with alpha people who got different way of thinking, and then the nukes too, man. Like we had nukes in there, man. Stuff was man. It was but it was good. But it's almost like though you had to be the good thing about having so many of us though. When I went through, you had to single yourself out. To be seen though. You know what I mean? Because it's that many of us though. You know what I mean? So if you getting picked on or somebody talking directly to you about anything, it's because you jacked it up. You know what I mean? Because it was so many of us or whatever the case may be. So with that being said, we having these conversations about that stuff. Like I'm not gonna go in detail either because I want people to have their own experience. But I'm like you too though, man. It's I mean, certain things we can say and certain things we can't. But I just want all you guys to know out there when you guys do like make it and you might see me out there. If you see me out there, man, you're going to see this hat on, man, like this, man. This is what I'm going to have on so you guys can see this face. You know what I mean? Because it ain't going to be smiling like this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Look, if you're a chief and you listen to the podcast, let us know if you want us to have like a private group. Because this is a conversation I want to have about acceptance. Yeah. That I need to vent about. Like, it's something I want to vent about. I was talking to one of the guys at Camp David about it, actually, when I was up there, just about the idea of acceptance. Yeah. It's something I really want to talk about. If you're a chief and you're listening, I'll give you a little second of the thought that I'm having. He was talking about how the worst select that they had in the mess going through the season didn't make it as a chief, like fucked up, like real early as a chief. But this person was also the worst select. That's all I'm gonna say. Did you do Pride Day?
Well, it wasn't. I did it before. I did actually. We did
as a
together.
select?
Oh
As a select.
no, I don't think they had that stuff where I was at. I was in Washington State, so I don't think we did that. No.
Oh, we went. I went through that too. That was a crazy experience. You know, like prepping up. We actually did a step. You know, we did like the step challenge thing. We didn't really do any steps. We moved around the stage a lot. We looked probably real bad. But the song that we did for it, I was a big part of writing it. Like we did like a song. We redid Taylor Swift and like the Temptations. We did like some music stuff, but I was a big part. I was actually the first person that you saw on stage. I did like an old school rap rhyme. I was like the first select that jumped in front of the group, had everybody raise their hands, and then we start stomping and stepping and doing some stuff.
Nice.
And then
Sounds good.
I wrote it. Yeah, the practice of it was crazy though. Like just the practice. Like every day we had a uniform. Like every day before we practiced this, we would have a uniform inspection every day. Mm-hmm. Everybody got to be uniform. We have a uniform inspection every day. It's always somebody wrong. It's always somebody fucked up. Like it's never like, you know, we just did this yesterday. We gonna do this tomorrow, but like it's always somebody messed up. They got something in their pocket and it shouldn't be. Yeah. It was always something, man. And all you ever heard was "as you were," right? Mm-hmm. And "as you were" meant to go back to the very first part of all of this. And that was like forming a height line, bro. Like so no matter how far we get, so you know. We form a height line. We messed that up, as you are. We go back. We finally, hours into this, we finally figured out the height line, right? So we finally start marching. 2 steps in, you know what I'm saying? A person that's supposed to march us mess up. As you are. We back to forming a height line. You know what I'm saying? We get about 6 feet down the road. This probably like a week into it. We get about 6 feet down the road. Mess up. We can't turn. We don't know the right thing to say when we turn. As you were. We back to forming a height line again. So as you were was like the thing. And we did push-ups in that hot ass asphalt, concrete, whatever that was. It was crazy, man. But Pride Day, when it came around, the food was incredible, bro. That food was good, catered, incredible. It was fun, man.
Yeah, but I did it on the other side when I was already chief. Though when we put the people through, man, it was a fun time out there though. Just being around all those chiefs, man. People, like it was a lot, man. Like it was a lot of people out there. It was crazy, man. A
lot of people. You know, you get all of those text mark kind of sayings like you only get one season and you know stuff like that. I mean, and that's the truth, man. You can only really go through that thing once, and you got to make if you are going through season listening to this, if you about to be a select or something and you listen to this, man, make the most of it. Learn as much as you can learn, get as much game as you could get, and have fun, man. Most importantly, have fun and get some knowledge while you're going about it, and establish contacts, you know, establish people that you could reach out to, because that mess, when that mess is doing what it's supposed to do, it's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware of the other things that happen, and we got peeping times, places, and people stealing from the exchange. We talk about all that stuff. Yeah. But when the mess doing what it's supposed to do, it's a great thing. When somebody could call from across the world needing help with a sailor on your ship, that's I had that happen on our ship. I was on a duty day. Some dude called from like Great Lakes. You know, like, hey, a seller, suicidal ideation. I know a seller's mom. And I'm like, oh, man, I know just the person that could help. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we got that thing fixed. He texts me. He's like, yo, the mess is magical, bro. I'm so happy to be a part of this. So when it's good, it's good. When it's good, it's great, actually. But before we, you know, close out this by the way, this is by the way. Before we close out this by the way, we got to talk about the 20th anniversary of September 11th, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. September 11th, man. So a quick thing about me on September 11th, man. I was coming off of my second deployment. Not to date myself or nothing like that, man, but I was coming off my second deployment, man. And we was almost in Hawaii, right? Uh-huh. So the captain, I remember my captain coming over to 1MC, giving us a detailed story about what was going on over the 1MC. So everybody was listening to it, man. And we was in a holding pattern. So we was out there started making blocks because it was a possibility that we was going back, right? Mm-hmm. So we was out there waiting for directions, pretty much like waiting. And the first time, man, in my Navy career that I wasn't even thinking about going home no more, man. I was ready to go back. Like everybody
Yeah.
was on the ship was we was like, we ready to go. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like normally people like, man, we trying to get home. We trying to go.
Yeah.
Dude, we had like we was pulling in Hawaii. We supposed to pull in like Hawaii the next day. And ain't nobody care about no Hawaii no more, man. We
Mm-hmm.
was ready to go back. So yeah, man. So I was out there like in the water, hoping they was calling our name, hoping they was calling us to go back, man, over there. But we stayed out there 3 days until they gave us the word and told us to go ahead and pull in Hawaii. We pulled in Hawaii, and then we came on home. But
So before, because September 11th is one of those dates, right?
Yeah.
Infamous, like Pearl Harbor, or even like, in the future what COVID would be. It's going to be a before this day and after this day, just like COVID. Before COVID, after COVID, like life is completely different, specifically for us as U.S. citizens. So in the Navy, right, in your career, did you notice a difference in just the way the Navy was handling things after September 11th versus before September 11th, or for you where you were, was it not really noticeable? Any security levels heightened, anything?
I'm trying to remember, man, and trying to think about it.
Yeah, I know it was a while ago. So.
Yeah, and I always been on the West Coast too, so I'm trying to think. I don't necessarily remember, and I was so young in the game too that I really wasn't thinking about, you know what I mean, like the
Yeah.
measures and all that type of stuff that was going on. But I'm pretty sure everything was heightened when it went down.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, if we got anybody listening, I would love for them to share their 9/11 stories, whether it be
yeah,
a before or after, and we could go from there. If you do think of something, because we can't, we got to keep talking,
yeah,
of course, because
and,
there's people listening. But if you think of something as we talking, then you can always just jump
yeah,
in and
most
let me
definitely.
know. My 9/11 story was different. I was in high school still. I think I was in like 11th grade. And for me, it was 2 music albums coming out. So Jay-Z had the Blueprint coming out that day, September, because it was a Tuesday. So the Blueprint was coming out, and then Fabulous had his album coming out, Ghetto Fabulous. It was Fab first album. And it's all hip hop stuff, hip hop talk stuff. So we went to school. I was dead set on getting the Fabulous album, right? I wasn't gonna get the Jay-Z album. I heard it already in a barbershop. I heard it in a barbershop. Jay-Z was like heavily bootlegged in those days. Like he always got bootlegged. So like they was already playing it in a barbershop, and it was crazy. I'm like, yo, this album is crazy, But I was all about Fab. Like I was like at that time, Fab was my favorite rapper. Like he was just killing it, right? And I think I first started hearing Fab in like 98, 99. And it's like 01 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh man, Fab finally got a studio album. So we had like these stores that would release on Monday, and we had stores that, release the day of. So I'm like, all right, if I go as early as I can when I get out of school, I could grab a CD, hop right back on the trolley, and go home. So we get to school. I don't know what we was doing. We were always doing something that had to do with hip hop. I think it was advisory or the first period. And my boy Ryan, man, one of my best friends to this day, he was like, man, like he thought it was like a movie trailer. He was like, what's that? Like that's crazy. And I think we thought it was a movie trailer or something like that. He was like, yo, that's not. And then the second one hit. He was like, nah, that's real. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to have a TV on or something for advisory. So what does Siri talk about? So after that, the teacher said something. Then the principals got on and was like, hey, y'all gotta leave, state of emergency, whatever they were saying. So we left. Still, dude, hip hop, my thing, man. My mind was still set on getting this Fabulous album. So I go to the CD store. I stop. I'm like, oh man, it's crazy. It was a frenzy outside. It was crazy. I never, like a days like that. This was Philly, and something hit in Pennsylvania. Like one of the planes crashed in somewhere in Pennsylvania. But we had New York, we had DC, we had somewhere in Pennsylvania. But so being in Philly, that was close to home. But I got out the trolley, man. I went to go get the Fab CD. It was sold out at the store. So I'm like, man, I'm not going to leave here. These were the days where it's either it wasn't the streaming days like Apple. I could download 20 CDs on a Friday. These were the, like, you getting one or the other. I was young, I ain't really have money like that. I'm either getting one or the other. So, but Fab was sold out, so I had to get Jay-Z CD, and then it was I guess I could get Fab CD next week. So I went in, I got the Jay-Z CD, the Blueprint. It's a classic album, but I just wanted Fab CD at that point in time. So I got the Blueprint. It was the Blueprint. Mm-hmm. So I went home. While the whole world is falling around me, the whole country is, just in despair about what's going on. We get home. I don't think my mom was home yet, but she came home. As soon as she came home, she turned on the news. And I actually wrote a story about this whole day in a little book that I'm kind of planning. But she get home, she turned on the news. My brother gets home. We go upstairs. She got the news on downstairs. She watching all the coverage about the towers. That was like everything that was on every channel. And we put a Jay-Z CD in, and we just like escaped. Like that was our moment of escape. You know what I'm saying? From everything. So we put it, and that's what music was for me back then. So we put the music in, and we just escaped, man. By the time like Renegade came on, like with him and Eminem, like we were probably like in a whole nother world. Come back downstairs to coverage, the towers, and everything that was going on with that, and then just everything was different. For me, just being American and just feeling like we were and I was young at the time. Because I got skipped in high school, so I was young. But just feeling like we were vulnerable, like way more vulnerable than I ever thought we could have been. And me just like at that point knowing it could happen, you know what I'm saying? And like, somebody could do something to us like any day, because that's what I was thinking as a young kid. Like, something could happen to us tomorrow. It just happened to us yesterday. Something could happen to us this day. They might hit Philly next. They might hit this next. So that was a whole big thing for me. But that was my September 11th story. It was laced in music, hip hop, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's you too, though, man. That's what you was doing before that and after that. So your story is not surprising when you talk about the hip hop side of it, because that's what you know, though. That's what calms you down. That's what anytime something happens or whatever going on, you could always revert back to hip hop. You know what I mean? Like all the time. That's kind of how we grew up too. Them like me with blues and stuff, man. Like I love listening to blues. You know what I mean? All the time, old school stuff like that. And that kind of calms me down. If I'm sitting at home by myself or whatever, doing anything, man, I cut them blues on or something. I'm good, man. I'm chilling. I'm relaxed. Type deal, man. But like you said before, man, like we'll love to hear some of people who listen to us 9/11 stories, man. I know it's some good stories out there. Everybody got a story. They got a place somewhere they was at, something they was doing. If you guys want to hit us up, man, and let us know you guys' story, man, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we got two questions. The first one is, where were you on September 11th, 2001? And then the second question is, what change did you notice?
Yeah. And
if you military and you're, in the way we operated, distinguishing from before to after, 9/11, what change? I know some people were like FCs and they went places and they shot things,
Yeah.
Like I know people did some stuff, so I would love to hear a lot of those stories.
Yeah. It was most definitely changed for me too. Well, and one change was like not in 01, but I remember 05, man, I went to on the IA, right?
Yeah.
In Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, man, and I never I wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I wanted to go, man. Over there. That's the ones we had open at the time, man. And so I wanted to go over there, man. I went over there for 7 months, and that kind of changed some stuff on what we was doing and how we was doing things over there, man. Not to talk too much about it, but it was crazy, man. You know what I mean? It was crazy over there.
We might have to have a whole conversation about Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
Heard some things about Guantanamo Bay, man.
If you heard it, it probably happened too. Be real.
To talk about. I'm telling you, man, we might have to do like a Patreon or like a private kind of thing where we could vent, because like it is one thing I really do want to vent about the season and acceptance and stuff, and then Guantanamo Bay conversations and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
Man.
Yeah, but I mean, you got anything else, man?
No, man. I want to throw one more shout out to all the guys who, when the chief results come out in a couple weeks, man, don't never forget, man. Be yourself. Know where you came from. And remember, you've been doing this for a minute already. Don't forget all that stuff. Okay. That's all I got, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Good luck to everybody that's taking an advancement exam. And we'll see you guys next week or the week after with another episode of PTSF. This one was old, by the way.
Mississippi, stand up.
Philly with that rap beat bout.